Okay, so for week 9 of winter anime, a lot of crazy progressions, good emotional moments. I was watching It's Time to Torture Princess. One of the girls was really bad at her job, so the princess kind of stopped her from crying. Solo leveling gets even edgier. Mama's trying to outplay Lakin in Apothecary Diaries. Frieren, bro, this fight goes crazy again. We get some Sesbian Lex and gushing over magical girls. Also, rest in peace, Toriyama. That was so sad. Dragon Ball, insane. I'm wearing the Supreme Kai shirt right here. So your influence is goated, rest in peace. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about more animes. So yeah, Free Rent, I'll start talking about. This episode was crazy. If you're not watching Free Rent, do yourself a favor and watch it. I know some people think it's a bit boring, but yeah, this dungeon fight is so nice. I love how it's directed as well, because you get flashbacks and backstories of characters, and then it kind of goes back to the fight. For example, when the elf was like, only a human or the demon lord could kill you, and it transitions back to Fern blasting the Free Run clone. It was so cool. Fern blasted it out of nowhere, caught it off guard, but that is not enough to defeat Free Run. You need so much magic, you need to overwhelm her. So yeah, they continue on with the fight. It's basically Free Run versus Free Run, while Fern is just like flying in the air hiding. And this fight was so crazy. Like, the purple explosions, Frieren just doing like insane ass magic. Both of them trying to counter each other was so cool. Basically, the fight kind of escalates a lot because Frieren has so many magical abilities. This was a great way to kind of showcase it, because all they've been doing throughout the season was like the basic ass soul track magic. But here, Frieren's kind of sweating a bit, so they both have to like go all out. It looks like the clone is releasing a lot of explosions while Frieren is guarding. So after Frieren does this cool move where she's kind of like charging up an attack and kind of hides, Fern actually blasts Frieren again and blasts her like a million times. Frieren seems to be defeated. Like, her arms are cut off, her hair just like falls down, but now she's angry. She's serious for the first time. Oh my god, that was scary, because, you know, in this anime, everyone is pretty laid back. If Frieren especially, she just, you know, gets eaten by mimics. It's very chill, but when she's actually serious, that's crazy. So she has like this gravity pressure magic where she doesn't even need arms or a wand to cast it. She just looks at Fern and kind of slams her into a wall and is just like crushing her. So yeah, that's when Frieren sees her opportunity, because she's the one to defeat herself. She was charging a spell, kind of sneaks behind her clone, and in a whole second just defeats the clone. You know, defeats the Spiegel. It's all good. Also, while this was happening, everyone else was kind of taking care of the other Spiegels. So we saw the Ice Girl and then the Earth guy, they were teaming up. They actually got defeated, so they had to run away. So they won't be part of the exam. I think everyone else made it. We saw Ubel as well. Bro, she's so scary because, yeah, I mean, she was this psychotic girl, but she seemed to be, like, in line with everyone else. She didn't really seem to be super overpowered. I guess her ability to steal other people's magical powers is kind of insane, but that's not really her main gimmick. It's actually cutting people up. So her magical ability is basically, like, Sukino's Cleave and Dismantle. It's called Real Sidon, and it can cut anything that Ubel can imagine cutting. We saw that's how she got disqualified last exam for murdering the proctor. But basically, since she kind of doesn't like that, she's the girl with the hair powers, and her clone's kind of like crazy. It's like stabbing everybody. But the thing is, since Ubel can imagine cutting hair, even if it's magically reinforced, then it's no problem for her. So she easily defeats the Sense clone. Sense is actually kind of scared of her. But the way she sees the world, her like kind of mental illness, makes her very dangerous, because normal rules and logic don't apply, since it's like however she sees the world. So yeah, she's a pretty interesting character, not super overpowered, but she can basically one-shot everybody if she can see through their defense. So yeah, I thought that was all cool. They defeat the Spiegel. Everyone kind of like makes it out safely. We see like the big golems that rescued people. They have healing magic, so no one really died. And yeah, Frieren, Fern, a bunch of other people succeed in the second exam. So yeah, they go into the treasure room. A lot of mimics there. Frieren gets eaten again. Very funny, because yeah, she had a badass showcase. She saved everybody, and now she's just doing like goofy shit. But yeah, basically, this isn't the end of the exam. There's a third exam coming up. So yeah, this was expected. I don't know if it's going to be like a battle, like a Chunin exam tournament one-on-one. I bet it's still kind of difficult, because you can't really have everyone be a first class mage. But yeah, we just got to see. But I very much enjoyed this dungeon exploration arc. It was so nice. Seeing Frieren kind of like explore every room, go through every mimic, and look for treasure. That was so funny. Seeing everyone else just like sweating, running away from all these clones. It was so sick. Really showcased the power of Frieren. And, you know, also Fern. We also couldn't have done it without her. Alright, so for solo leveling episode 9, yes, so Jinwoo is killing more people. Ain't no way. So we saw they were exploring like this D-rank dungeon. It should be pretty easy. They have some convicts on their team, which was kind of weird, but besides that, you know, everyone's doing their thing. We see Jinwoo can actually sense where the boss is, so the path kind of divides into 3 places. Jinwoo teams up with Juhi and the one-armed guy to go to the boss room. Everyone else kind of goes their own separate ways. We see the Overseer, the B-rank hunter. He's kind of going with the convicts. So I thought something bad would happen, maybe the convicts team up on him, but no. It's actually the opposite. He's trying to kill the convicts because someone paid him, basically the dad of their victims, because they kind of like abused this girl and she killed herself. So he kind of pays the B rank hunter to kill them in the dungeon because, you know, whatever happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon. No one's gonna miss these convicts. So he does murder them. He has like some assassin power. He's pretty fast and he has like this dagger. The problem is the other two hunters kind of meet up with them and he sees that they murdered these people. So it's supposed to be kind of kept on the down low, so he murders them to keep them quiet. Those both of the dudes who were in the S rank dungeon with Jinwoo in the first episode. But the sad part is that, yeah, one of the dudes had a family. We saw the obvious death flags last episode. He had like a wife and a daughter. So yeah, maybe Jinwoo would give them some money. That would be like a good heroic thing for him to do. Like this B rank hunter seems to be playing with these people. He loves murdering. But then yeah, Jinwoo, Juhee, everyone else, they hears the screaming, so they run, turn back, and now they have to fight this guy, this assassin dude. Jinwoo is no stranger to killing, but the funny part is he's not even fighting. So the one-armed guy's fighting because we saw he was pretty strong in training. He's like the badass old man character. I mean, the problem is he is C rank and this dude is B rank, so you can't really fight above your class. It's still gonna be pretty hard. Juhee is buffing him and healing him, but she's still kind of like traumatized and scared, so she can't really maintain her power for too long. So after a while, the one-armed guy gets overwhelmed. He kind of blasts the B rank hunter with fire magic, and this doesn't defeat him. So yeah, Jinwoo, he was just watching. No one really knew how strong he was, but I was like, bro, you can help out anytime. So yeah, he does. He has like his poison dagger that can paralyze you, and he goes and attacks the B rank hunter. They both realize that they've been murdering people. Jinwoo kind of senses his murdering intent, so as he fights him, it's like pretty even. So as he fights him, like Jinwoo can keep up with him. Like the assassin dude's pretty fast, but yeah, Jinwoo's just like deflecting his attacks. The problem is this dude has a super ability that makes him invisible. You can't smell him, you can't detect him, you can barely hear him. So Jinwoo has to sense his bloodlust, which is pretty strong. Jinwoo can sense it kind of easily. The dude gets overwhelmed. Jinwoo also has like this skill murdering intent or something that just paralyzes the other guy, and Jinwoo stabs him. And I guess he's leveling up a bit more as they like kind of brave through the dungeon. He defeats the boss as well off screen. But yeah, basically Jinwoo gets into another situation where someone in his party dies. So I guess like his plan to kind of lay low isn't really succeeding. But yeah, basically they have evidence on the B rank guy because they saw like the dad paid him and everything. So their name gets cleared. Oh yeah, the one part before I forget, when Jinwoo killed him, the guy like said the most edgiest cringe line I've ever heard. It was really funny in context, but basically when he was dying, he warns Jinwoo, when you stare at the abyss stares back. Really? He said that was your last words, bro? But basically he was saying this as a warning to Jinwoo, it felt like, or he was kind of encouraging him, where it was like, if you get stronger, the way you're getting stronger seems to be like a dark path. Like you seem to be killing people, so you gotta be careful. I mean, Jinwoo killed like 7 people now. It seems like people are also after him. And besides that, you know, the anime is still very entertaining, even though it's like super edgy. Okay, so for the Apothecary Diaries, episode 22, very simple episode, but you know, it was done very well. So basically, Lakan, he has a task for Jinshi. Bring me some blue roses for the garden party. It's the one where the emperor is there with his concubines, because blue roses are cool, I guess. So yeah, it's very simple. He gives Jinshi like this kind of impossible assignment because blue roses are not real. So then Jinshi turns to Mao. Mao's like, yeah, it's impossible. It's also kind of cold. It's like still like winter time. Roses kind of bloom when it's like really warm, like late spring to summer. So she's like, you're shit out of luck. But then she realizes that Lakan gave Jinshi this impossible assignment. So she like took that personally. She takes this whole thing as a challenge. So yeah, she does this. We also see like Yokio is not attending the garden party because she's pregnant. So yeah, that's kind of cute. She got her little daughter and now a new child probably. But basically she realizes that the hot sauna bath that she made for the blue-haired girl, it can be used as like a temperature controlled greenhouse to grow roses. So she does this. She has like 100 roses delivered. She like kind of takes care of them every day, carefully pruning off the dead leaves, making sure they're all in like some warm temperature controlled environment. If it rains outside, if there's not enough sun, then she like stays up all night trying to like warm up the room with like hot coals and everything. So she's working so hard being sleep deprived. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, basically at the end of these 2 months, after like so much training, so much hard work, she also invents like the trend of nail polish. She like spreads it around. So that's kind of interesting too, I guess. Mao just like doing everything. She's super smart. It's so cool following her as the main character. But yeah, basically she succeeds. The roses are budding. She's so happy. She gets to sleep a little bit. And then she also gets to color them blue, which we see during the garden party. So the way she colored them blue, even Lakan is like a bit mad because he got outplayed. But she actually dyed the water, and then the flowers absorbed like the colored dye, I guess. And then it went up and changed their color. So that's all good. Lakan gets defeated. We also see at the end of this episode, Lakan is kind of like an edgelord as well. He's like, I only see people as chess pieces. I control them. They have no other importance to me. I'm a strategist. But then he sees Mamao's fingernails. It's colored in some like shade that he really likes. And then he like sees Mamao with Jinchi. And I guess they're gonna face off next week. It's kind of interesting. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, Mamao kind of hates this guy. And what we've seen, he's been super evil and manipulative. So yeah, pretty solid episode. You know, the concept is very simple. Just like make some blue roses. This whole episode was just like her kind of like, you know, planting, gardening. Okay, so for Delicious in the Dungeon, episode 10. Really love this episode, mainly because we're escalating. We meet the dragon already. We're actually planning to fight him. I thought this dragon was an endgame thing, but no. Fallen is so good, we gotta rescue her right now. So first off, they reach the place the trolls told them. It's kind of like this underground staircase, and it leads to like this big kingdom ruins. They have to go through it, but there's like a lot of tentacles around them and giant frogs attacking them. So then Chilchuck, he sees that the frogs are immune to the tentacles. They're just like climbing up on top of them. They're eating their weapons and throwing them on the ground. So kind of wraps the skin around his hand, so he's like wearing frog gloves, and then he can touch the tentacles with no like problems. So they kind of do this. They fight off the frogs using the traps, and then they skin it, cut it. But yeah, basically they're wearing like frog hazmat suits, going down the staircase with all the tentacles. It's very funny. You know, Marcel, she does not want to do this, but yeah, they're doing it. After that, they take off the frog suits. They reach like the kingdom ruins, and this is where the dragon is. They see like a lot of like burnt bodies here. So they kind of like establish a plan because there's only 4 of them, and this giant like red dragon's gonna like breathe fire and kill them. They're not prepared. So they realize the weak point is the neck, but they have to like go up really high to get it. So their plan is to have Marcel kind of blast like these buildings with magic and kind of trap it under the rubble. They have the dwarf with the adamantite shield, so he can probably block some fire attacks. And then Laios can probably stab it with his sword, hopefully. So yeah, that's the plan they have so far. You know, in anime, when you have like your plan kind of perfectly laid up for you, it's not going to end up like that. There's going to be some bumps and difficulties, of course. But yeah, we're kind of escalating. I'm thinking for the finale of the first half, we defeat the dragon and save Fallen. I mean, it might not succeed like that, or maybe this is like a imposter dragon. There's actually 2 dragons, and they defeat the wrong one, and they have to like keep going to find Fallen. Like anything could happen. Okay, so for Tis Time for Torture Princess, episode 9. Really loving this anime. It is super repetitive. The princess is getting tortured with all this like food and like happy moments. So nothing near really happens, but it's like very wholesome. So there were like kind of 3 torturing moments in this episode. The one I want to talk about is with Vanilla Peshoots. It's kind of like part of like this big bloodline, this family that's really good at torturing people. But yeah, she's really bad at torturing people. She works so hard. She's a bit clumsy, I guess because she's like young. But the problem is a lot of her tortures don't work on a princess. So yeah, for this one, she kind of made a cake for the princess, but the cake is very sloppy, has too much frosting on it. It's very uneven. But then the princess sees all the effort she put into this cake. It's kind of made with love. It's to make sure like you can enjoy the frosting and everything. So yeah, she put a lot of effort. I felt kind of sad because, you know, I can relate being unskilled at cooking but wanting to impress others. It's like very rough. So when people actually appreciate the effort you put into cooking, like that's real, bro. Those are real emotions right there. So yeah, Vanilla's relationship with the princess keeps getting stronger, but then she fails the torturing. So I guess the demon lord has to talk to her, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, besides that, other stuff happened. We see Tortura. She's kind of like on a business trip, so she can't really torture the princess. We also see the demon lord's daughter with the mom baking cookies, but then Mamao, the daughter, she kind of like almost knocks down the cookies. She gets like really sad, but then the demon lord was able to like carry the tray. So a very standard slice of life episode, but each moment was like very nice. Also after that, we have Mashle season 2 episode 9. We get some lore this episode, but basically these fights are very skippable. Nothing much really happened. So we see Innocent Zero, they have Edo Tensei now. So they bring up like the strongest magic user ever called Adam Jobs. He has dark magic, and they basically kind of revive his body, which is kind of like disrespectful because he was Wahlberg's teacher, like the Dumbledore guy. So now Wahlberg has to fight his master. Thing is, Wahlberg is him. He's badass. He has like space magic. The thing with dark magic in this world, we see it like swallows everything it touches. You can't really block against it. But then space magic can just like, you know, put that shit in another dimension. So yeah, that's how he fights this like puppet master controlling the Adam Jobs clone. It kind of sets up Wahlberg as being him. And I guess he's going to face off against Innocent Zero next. We also see Innocent Zero's goal is that he made 6 children. This is basically the Horcruxes, but he wants the heart of each children and absorb it into him. And Mash is one of his children, so he needs to harvest Mash's heart. That's basically his goal so far, so yeah, I'm kind of glad we got that. But yeah, Mash is basically fighting the Thorn Sky. He is also a triple liner, so he can summon like a god. He has like this diamond blade that just like constantly chases Mash, trying to slice him up. So yeah, Mash just, you know, runs away very fast and then kind of makes a circle and ambushes the Thorn Sky, kind of puts him in a chokehold. So as the diamond blade was gonna attack Mash, Mash just like knocks him him out in a second. I mean, I was like, bro, can't you do that with everyone? Just like literally snap their necks. But I guess it would make things too easy. So he defeats the Thorn guy, and then I guess he's gonna continue. Okay, so for Bucchigiri episode 8, kind of like a sad episode, because yeah, we get Matakara's story. I knew he would be like a bit more important because I was expecting him to like have a genie of his own. He does get it. This episode was pretty sad. Also, like him with Origin to kind of like talk things out. But Origin, he knows he's a fraud. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to be friends with Matakara either. All he wants to do is sim for Mahoro. So yeah, he doesn't really care about anybody else. Everyone is kind of propping up Origin, but he doesn't really like all this pressure. So he reveals that to Matakara later. But basically, there was like a lot of wholesome moments because Matakara's brother was coming back from juvie this week. So he decides to have like a party in the restaurant. The problem is like as everyone's like, you know, having a good time, Matakara tries to pick him up from juvie, and then we realize that he gets stabbed. So yeah, I guess his brother died off screen. Okay, well, I guess that's kind of sad. But yeah, the sad part is that it kind of wrecks Matakara. He was usually very happy and positive, but he was going through a lot of struggles. And now this is kind of like the tipping point. He's like in super depression. He's hanging out in the temple, like nothing really matters to him too much. He also sees like a bit of darkness kind of peering into him. His brother kind of warned him that it like invades weak people's hearts. So yeah, he's kind of like out of options. He also tries to talk to Origin, but then Origin kind of ignores him a lot. And then once he actually like sees Origin sleeping, he touches like the little metal thing in his head. And he realizes that Origin's been using the power of this genie to kind of like cheat his way into victory. So basically Matakara realizes that Origin is a fraud. He doesn't really have anywhere to go. I really don't think it's that serious because yeah, your brother died, which was very sad. Like I feel for you there. But like the fact that you thought Origin was strong and he wasn't shouldn't really be like a hamper on your friendship. It's like, okay, he has like a magic genie power. Like it's not a deal breaker. But yeah, I guess Matakara doesn't like that. Origin kind of runs away as well. And when Matakara is at his lowest point, his weakest, the other dude with the glasses who was like causing trouble kind of like gives his genie to Matakara, it looks like. I think his name is Ichiya, and yeah, he possesses Matakara. Matakara does like the Persona 3 gun to his head, and he gets the new genie. So I guess that's interesting. I don't think Matakara is going to be a villain, but maybe this genie makes you a villain because it's like a bit evil. It's like the dark genie. So we'll see what's gonna happen. But yeah, pretty interesting story development so far. Okay, so for Chain Soldier episode 10, yeah, we gotta rescue Yuki from these evil demons. So yeah, everyone kind of tracks him down, rescues him. We see that Tenka can just easily rescue him because she has the portal power, so she just like teleports. And yeah, they're escaping, but then his sister kind of like tracks them down. And yeah, I guess they can't fight anymore because we realize like their backstory where basically they got fed like this kind of forbidden peach and turned into like these monsters that were suffering for years. And some of them were used for human experimentation. So they can't really trust the humans. It looks like the good guys are being defeated, but I feel like they'll pull through in the end. So yeah, a lot of fights going on. There's like 3 fights. There's one with the Super Saiyan girl and Shushu. They're fighting like the water girl that can heal herself, and she also has this familiar. We see the blue-haired sisters are also fighting, but then Himari gets like kind of like her neck broken. So hopefully she's okay. And yeah, we kind of end the episode there with the villains also showing up. So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen, but yeah, a lot of escalations. I'm liking the action and story so far. I know the anime's been a bit underwhelming in terms of like the colors, the fan service, the animation. It could be a lot better. But yeah, besides that, I'm still enjoying this anime. And also, I'm going to talk about Gushing over Magical Girls. So we're on episode 10. I love this episode as well. Very hot, very D-Gen. But basically, Loco Musica and Lieber, they kind of joined Bazer's forces, but they're still evil. They killed a lot of magical girls, and Baser has to cleanse them of their sins. So how does she do that? She traps her in this soundproof dollhouse and basically says, you have to please me in order to leave. So yeah, they're trapped in a room. What do? They have sex. So first, Baser kind of manipulates them. She's like, oh, you do like each other even though you guys are arguing? Like, you shouldn't be angry with each other. They kind of release their pent-up emotions. First, Baser makes them make out. So yeah, they're kissing. Very sexual kiss, just like, you know, swapping saliva and everything. Also, after that, now they have sex. Kind of crazy, but yeah, Baser is satisfied. It was honestly very nuts. Like, fan service is off the chain. I mean, I still have the problem, you know, these girls are underage. They're like teenagers. But, you know, it is fiction. Okay, I'm watching this anime for research. But yeah, after that second half of the episode, we see the villains coming through, like the girls that want world domination. It's like the giant nun lady and then the other sadistic girl. They team up. They kind of save the city against these like goo monsters. We see Baser kind of teleports to fight the other girl while everyone else is trying to like hold off all these enemies in the city. So So yeah, like the magical girls are busy training. They're not here to help. So yeah, I guess the villains are still fighting each other. And that is it for the shows this week. Thank you for watching. Another quick episode. Not really too much to say, but yeah, if you're enjoying any episodes, please let me know. I'm really liking these romance shows. There's so many fantasy shows that are like pretty decent, I guess. There's a lot of good strategy, 200 IQ plays, as well as this like solo leveling being super edgy, and Frieren being super cool, enjoyable, well animated every week.